Hello, everyone. Welcome to Portland Cocktail Week Distance Learning. I am Brittany Leach Johnson, Lush Life Productions, and I'm so happy to be back on our streaming platforms today. We have so much coming up this month. Very exciting guests today. Specifically, I'm sure you've all seen the flyers, so you know what you're in store for. But what an exciting way to kick off our Mexican Spirits programming for May. Over the course of this month, you'll catch Hispanic and Latin bartenders alongside teams behind some of our favorite Mexican spirits brands to share cocktails, production practices, personal stories, and everything in between. Everything you see on Portland Cocktail Week Distance Learning this month has been curated by Damian Diaz and Oton Nolasco, founders of Know Us Without You. Damian and Oton launched Know Us Without You to help hospitality workers affected by COVID-19 feed their families. Using their consultancy background and their business, Vala Hospitality's Boyle Heights office turned distribution center, they set to provide food relief to the most disenfranchised hospitality workers affected by the pandemic. Currently, over 40,000 pounds of food is distributed every month. Donations provide pantry essentials and fresh produce to back-of-house staff, such as dishwashers, line, and prep cooks. Thus, they have kept alive the heart and soul of the restaurant and bar industry, who are often treated as dispensable. Launched with the goal of feeding 30 families a week, Know Us Without ULA is currently, as of this month, providing food security for over 700 families monthly. Damian and Oton plan on offering food relief packages through 2024 and beyond as a way to show back-of-house workers that they are not forgotten. They are not in the shadows. They are seen, heard, and respected. We at Lush Life are so proud to know Damian and Oton and so proud of the work that they do with Know Us Without You. And we're happy to announce that we are donating $3,500 in celebration of our Mexican Spirits programming. We hope that you'll join us in supporting their work by heading to knowuswithout.la/donate and sharing the love. Which brings me, speaking of love, brings me to today's class. So joining me today are everyone's favorite agave enthusiast, hailing from Mexico City, residing in Monterey, California, and keeping glasses full of delicious cocktails at Stokes Adobe, Manny Hernandez. And
hi, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, Manny. Hello. And let's give it up for the one and only Guy Fieri. You probably know Guy as the mayor of Flavor Town and the face of Food Network's favorites, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Guy's Grocery Games, and Tournament of Champions. You may not know that the world-famous chef, restaurateur, Emmy Award-winning television host, who has his own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 80 restaurants worldwide, and 175 location food delivery service, Flavor Town Kitchen, is also the co-founder of Santo Spirit with his pal Sammy Hagar. From selling soft pretzels from a three-wheeled bicycle at the age of 10, washing dishes in local restaurants in his teens, to becoming a restaurant manager after graduating from UNLV, opening his first restaurant, and in 2006 winning Next Food Network star, Guy is an industry vet through and through. Guy's enthusiasm for great food and spirits is matched only by his passion for helping others. We're going to get into some of his truly impressive charitable endeavors in a bit, but we're going to talk about today's class first. So, Guy, welcome.
That was a heck of an intro. Can I just go now? I mean, I think we shot all the cameras.
No, we're done. Thanks. That was great. We had so much fun.
Manny's the authority here. Let's just let Manny go, and I'll just tune in. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is great, and I love what you're talking about. Our industry is it's a tough industry, and we need all the love and support we can get in it. And I've done my piece. You're doing your piece. We're recognizing it. We're identifying it, and we're supporting it. And that's what we have to do. We have to take care of one another. It's not easy, and it's pivoting, and there's so many changes always happening. So,
absolutely, and it's so exciting to have both you and Manny here to kick off Mexican Spirits Month. And this session is going to focus on creating fun and approachable cocktails with Santo Mezquila. What drives these two creative processes, which I'm very excited to get into, and how community is at the heart of everything that they do. If you're not familiar with Santo Mezquila yet, that's okay. Guy's going to share the story behind he and Sammy Hagar's partnership behind the brand and the inspiration behind the world's first blend of 100% Blue Weber tequila and 100% Espadin mezcal. And there's more. 50 of you are going to get some of that one-of-a-kind Santo Mezquila sent directly to your door. You just got to complete the form at lushlifeproductions.com/Santo by May the 27th. Look, I know it's Memorial Day. If you're by the pool, you hadn't done it yet, on Memorial Day, fill out that form, get it in for your chance to be one of the lucky 50. Now, y'all know we always have to do this before we really get into the good stuff. So I am going to ask you to do a few things in return for getting to see Guy Fieri here on your Facebook or YouTube screen. So you're welcome. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube where you can see cool stuff like this. Follow us on Instagram at PDXCW so you can find out what's coming up next when we might have another celebrity guest. Maybe we have Guy back in the future. You'll know about it if you follow us on Instagram. And comment below, ask questions, share your love. We're super excited about the stream today, and we hope that you are too. So I'm going to lay a little groundwork before we get into the questions that I've prepared for the guys today. Santo Mezquila is the world's first agave blend made from 100% Blue Weber tequila and 100% Espadin mezcal. Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri created this product. This proprietary blend of mezcal and tequila offers a unique profile. And we're going to discuss more about some of the tasting notes and stuff in just a bit. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the portfolio of Santo products. We're even going to get into that 110 proof Blanco. I know we're excited to talk about that. And of course, we're going to talk about cocktails. So Guy, you are my first victim. My first question is for you. So I hope you're ready.
Okay.
So what was exciting to you about partnering with Sammy on Santo, and how did you get involved?
Well, Sammy was doing Cabo Wabo, and I had a bunch of restaurants here in Northern California, and they brought me Cabo Wabo and said, "Oh, Sammy Hagar owns it." And I'm like, "Nah, that's bullshit. There's no way." And this is back in 90s, late 90s, early 2000. And I said, now, and the sales rep got him on the phone, and I didn't even know Sammy. I was just a big fan, went to all of his concerts. So I started selling the Cabo, and I was the #1 account, and I won the big guitar that was signed and got to go see Sammy at a concert. And that's actually how we became friends. But it was great tequila. And Sammy was, I think, the first tequila aficionado as a celebrity, but he wasn't doing it as a celebrity. He just loved good tequila. He was down in Mexico a lot and was drinking 100% tequila. Was drinking the no additive tequila. That's what he was experiencing. And up here at the States at that time, we had such a limited supply of tequilas that were up here, and most of them, had additives. We all know the square bottle, the rectangular bottle, or the yellow stuff. And it was just really cool. I'm like, wow, I love tequila. I didn't know that this was existing. And so here we go. So I'm selling the tequila. Things are going great. And then Sammy calls me one day and he says, "I got good news and I got bad news." Now I'm on Food Network, and Sammy had been a big help with me about learning how to navigate the TV world and so forth. He says, "I got good news. I got bad news." I said, "Okay, well, what's the good news?" He says, "I got $100 million. I said, "Is there bad news that surrounds that?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm selling Cabo." I'm like, "Sammy, I can't sell Cabo. I got like 30 cases still in my garage." But he sold it, and I was heartbroken. And when something like that sells, it's going to take a little bit of a change. They're going to change the way they are producing it. So Juan Eduardo, who's our distiller now, they left Juan Eduardo. They went to big corporation, and Santo becomes this big brand. So it was heartbreaking. And I said to Sammy, I said, "Well, if you ever do tequila again, I want in. Okay, I want in on the tequila." He's never gonna happen, never gonna happen. He says, I gotta sign a deal, man. I gotta sign a deal. And I said, "How long?" He said, 10 years. I said, "Well, when 10 years is up, you call me." Sure enough, about 12 years later, he gave me a call and he says, "Hey, you in?" I said, "I'm in what, Sammy?" I'm in the middle of building a fence. I'm going to stand on these. "You in? Yes or no?" I'm like, what does this mean? What is this cryptic message? Like, are we going to Cabo? Are we, what's it? Yes or no? I said, "Yeah, okay, Sammy, I'm in." He goes, "Great, we're in the tequila business, baby. Now send me $250,000. $250,000. Send it to me." So I called my manager and I said, "Hey, I just did a deal with Sammy. We're in the tequila business." He goes, "Oh God, how much did you have to give him?" I said, $250,000. He goes, "Oh, just so you know, it's gonna be a lot more than that." So we're self-funded. It's me and Sammy. Our managers have a little piece. Our attorney, Miles, has a little piece. Dan Butkus, who's our president, he's got a piece. But it really is just us. And the whole idea was, we started with the mezquila because nobody was doing anything like it. We see bartenders, and Manny, this is where you'll probably jump in. We see bartenders taking mezcal and tequila and blending them because mezcal is too much for most people. And it's too much to mix in most drinks by itself because it's so smoky. And there's different levels of mezcal, as you two know. So we said, why don't we do this? Why don't we get the smokiness of the mezcal and the really clean finish of a Blanco and put them together? Everybody kind of thought we were crazy, mezquila. Like, what is that, Well, we did it, and people lost their minds. Matter of fact, I don't know if you've had a chance to taste it or sip it or enjoy it, but it's great on the rocks. It's fantastic in drinks. It gives you the best of both worlds. It really opens up the profile of making delicious craft cocktails. So we did it. So I called Sammy one day. I said, man, this mezquila is blowing up, man. We got to trademark this. No, we're not going to trademark it. I said, why not? He says, I want everybody to use the term. I want it to become an industry term. Mezquila, the blend. I'm like, we should own this and that. And he goes, no. Let people use it. Just remember, we're the ones that started it. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty brave. So that was the kickoff, and it's been great. We've been having, it's fantastic. Juan Eduardo is a third-generation distiller. He's just a he's a real artist. He's a real artist. And the great thing is that I think really differentiate our tequila, I'm sorry to be a big run-on sentence, you opened Pandora's box on this one, is the quality of the succulent, the quality of the Weber Blue Agave that we're bringing in and the age of it. You could pick an apple when it's green and it's on the tree. It does not mean you can bake a pie with it. And if you do bake a pie with it, you're going to have to add a lot of sugar. Well, we pick really ripe, that pilon that we get to, that when we really cut those leaves really tight, and we just get great. We just get great flavor. And that's the reason the Weber Blue Agave was used to make tequila. Of all the succulents that are in Mexico, I have a house down in Mexico, of all the ones you see, and you can make stuff out of them. Don't get me wrong. You can make alcohol out of a lot of things. But we have just a really great team around us, and we make quality, additive-free, badass mezquila and tequila. Ta-da. Thank you very much.
I love that. That's such a fun story that you just get a phone call and it's like, are you in? You get no context. We just need a yes or a no.
We're going to jump, I guess. Let's go.
Amazing. So my next question is, and I think you've touched on this a little, but seeing if there are any further thoughts you'd like to explore of what you think is important for people to be looking for in tequila right now, either as an operator who is, responsible for bringing products into your bar, or if you're a consumer who wants to just enjoy a really delicious tequila cocktail.
Well, not all tequilas are the same. It's really such a smoke and mirrors that's going on. And Manny, you could probably, jump in on this on volumes. Up until about 2 years ago, everybody's just drinking tequila loosey-goosey and just thinking, wow, this is great, tequila. I'm going to clubs in Miami and, the big, long, tall bottles coming out. And everybody, woo! First and foremost, tequila is fun booze, okay? Everybody loves when you drink tequila's happy. There's something about it. There's certain alcohols that bring people down. There's certain people that make, there's stereotypes of things making people angry, so forth. But tequila's fun. Maybe because it reminds us of Mexico. Maybe it reminds us of going on a cruise. Maybe because margaritas usually end up being a fun time. Whatever the case is. So what happened is tequila had a bad reputation back in the 80s with, people doing the poppers and, it was one tequila to, hit the floor, that kind of thing. I always used to say I was allergic to tequila because every time I drank it, I broke out in handcuffs. Just kidding. But what happened is after everybody became all these big tequila fans, the curtain was pulled back and people said, heads up, what you're drinking is a lot of sugar water. What you're drinking is a lot of caramel color. What you're drinking is a lot of, you only have to be 50%, 51% to be tequila. You could say that you're 100% agave and only 97% really in that bottle is agave and 3% can be additives. There's all these little games that are getting played. So the world came about, and it's people like yourselves that started to identify and say, hold up, folks, hold up on the car wash. There's tequila that is additive free, which is not a sexy term, where nothing is added to it except the Weber Blue Agave and water and earth, and sun. That's it. And people are like, wait a second. All tequilas aren't that way? No. The colors that you see, the silkiness, the glycerin that you get, that's because they're using inferior. The list goes on and on. So that's the big thing that really happened is all of a sudden people started going, hold up. 10% of the tequilas in the world are additive free. Okay, so that's the beginning. Now, when we step forward from that, if you're going to use the greatest, you're going to use quality additive-free tequila that just speaks of itself, how it was grown, where it was grown, how it was processed, how it was manicured, how it was roasted, how it was distilled. Now you got to use great ingredients. And that's where we're really coming in and seeing tequila get a better representation than just being some sour orange mix or some sour mix that comes out of a bottle, and I'm going to mix that with some ice, and here we go, and now you got a margarita. Now we're really looking at it and saying, wait a second, let's get some really quality ingredients and back it up and make some dynamite cocktails. And that's the future of where tequila's at. Hence Manny.
Amazing. Manny and I are going to be talking a little bit about agave-based cocktails in just a second, but I got one more for you first. I figured I would just dump a bunch of questions on you right at the beginning. So this is a question that Manny was like, I'm really interested to hear a guy's take on this. Can you ask? So obviously. So what are your thoughts on the celebrity tequila era, and how does Santo beat the celeb-owned agave stigma, I guess, that we have in the bar industry? Because I know there are other folks who also happen to be, famous for work in other kind of channels, other spaces, and sometimes there's a bit of an eye roll of oh, they have a tequila now, everybody has a tequila now.
First thing I say to anybody. Hi, I'm Guy Fieri, and I do not own a celebrity branded tequila. Okay? I'm going to some meeting and confessing myself. I hate it. Sammy's a rock star and I'm a cook. All right. And we both happen to be really big tequila fans. I mean, hardcore tequila fans. I drink other tequilas. Don't get me wrong. I don't go and promote it, but I drink other tequila. I just want to drink great tequila. It's like wine. My family, we have a little wine company called Hunt Ride. My boys are Hunter and Ryder. And Hunter heads that business up for us. We don't just drink Hunt Ride. We drink all kinds of wine, so having a passion and appreciation for it, but you got to have a passion and appreciation. I'm working in Santo every single day. Every day I'm meeting with my team. Every day I'm meeting with Dan and our president of the company. We're always doing something. This isn't a brand slap or stamp. We're not just saying, hey, give me a part of the company and I'll go out and tell everybody I drink tequila. There's a lot of people that are in the tequila game that don't even drink tequila. That's what's crazy. I have no shame in the game. Whatever. Okay. Do whatever you want to do. I'm not profiting or gaining traction in the tequila world because of somebody else doing it right or wrong. I'm just doing what I do. Sammy's doing what Sammy does. Our product toe to toe against anybody, I'll take them. We're not the most expensive tequila. We're not going off the premise of saying, hey, wait a second, Sammy's a tequila god. He started this way before anybody else did. I've got restaurants and cookbooks and TV shows. We're not saying, hey, you guys should pay extra. We charge you what it costs us. Okay. We're not making a fortune out of this. We're building and giving people honest, true, straightforward artisan tequila at a great price. And that's hopefully what we're doing is changing a little bit of that stereotype or that stigma that's going on with celebrity branded tequila. Because I agree. I don't know how some people started their brand and all of a sudden have a 10-year-old tequila. Where the hell did you get that juice? How did it become 10 years old already? And shiny fancy bottles and fancy name and all this kind of stuff. Let's go to the authenticity. Let's go right to the field. Let's go right from who grew it. Let's go right how it was processed, and let's find out what we're putting in the bottle. Because when you're looking at this at 110 proof and all that's in there is Weber Blue Agave, there's no color, there's no glycerin, there's no sugar, there's no nada. How many people can step up and say that to you? That's where we just separate things right there. So we are not a celebrity branded tequila. We are a tequila brand that happens to be owned by a couple, like I said, a rock star and a line cook. And it's the real deal.
Manny, I'm sure you can agree. There's not much more that could be like any more endearing to folks in the bar industry than a tequila owned by a rock star and a line cook. Like, I feel like those are our people. But Manny, I've given you a chance to settle in a little, but now it's your turn. I've got my first question ready for you.
Come on, Manny, you can do this, buddy.
You got it.
Got this.
Thank you.
So, Manny, you've been in hospitality for a while, creating stunning cocktails all along the way. Where do you draw inspiration? Like when you're working on a new menu, we're going to get a little bit into specific cocktails in a bit, but like when you're putting together a new menu, where are the places you look for inspiration?
Actually, mostly, hi everyone again. Guy, nice to meet you. Mostly my inspiration depends on the place where I'm working. And I go through the ideology of what inspiration, what's the main base for them. I get to them. You know, if it's, for example, if it's a restaurant is 100% Oaxacan, food from Oaxaca, you know, I just try to get more in focus on the history from Oaxaca, products that you don't see really often from Oaxaca, flavors that you don't see really soon, or that you don't see really often, you know, like mamey, that's a one fruit from Mexico, or guava, or guanabana, or sour soap. So just try to be more specific on the background of the restaurant and where is what the story want to tell to the guests. Because, you know, like when you go to a restaurant and you go to a Mexican restaurant, you want to know the history. You want to know a little bit part of that little trip, or little vacation, you know. For example,
Yeah.
like to go, when I take my mom to a Oaxacan restaurant, we want to think about it. We back to Oaxaca. We want to have that experience where, like, you know, we close the eyes and get a bite to the mole or any tlayuda. It's like, oh, that reminds me when we used to be in Oaxaca, when we used to be in the streets, you know. And, you know, when you see about cocktails, I want to make sure that we can get the same experience. You want to get a little trip. You want to get a little extra vacation. It's like, even if it's like I'm miles away, but I want to have that little close touch to them with Oaxaca. So that's probably mostly my biggest inspiration on, you know, how I create menus for different restaurants that I'm working with. On the side for my own cocktails, sometimes I like to be inspired by poetry, music. You know, I'm a little nerdy anime guy, and I should sometimes get inspiration on that.
I love that. I love the way you think about that, of like making the complete experience this like mini vacation, or this moment that really transports folks to like another place, and gives them a little reprieve from like everyday stuff like laundry and bills and all that kind of stuff, you know.
I think tequila. I think Santo Tequila, a little mezcal cocktail, helps with laundry and bills. I think that makes it all that much more exciting. We just had big Mother's Day here at our house. We had about 40 people over here for Mother's Day. All my buddies and their wife. It was crazy. So waking up this morning, having a little Lush Life, a little Santito, little beginning. It's a little hair of the dog. So cheers.
Oh, I love that. And I do agree. A mezquila cocktail does make laundry much more enjoyable. So if anyone's looking for a way to improve their laundry routine, endorsed by everyone on this stream, just add a little mezquila to it. It'll be a lot more fun. So Guy, my next question is for you. So I know that that Santo Mezquila is a pretty unique product. Like, what should we know about? What are the like must takeaways as we go off into our day?
Mezquila is not tequila. Okay. It's got a whole nother profile to it. It's like a whole nother facet. I'm not a huge mezcal fan. Okay. Some mezcals to me I enjoy, but a lot of them are a little too heavy for me, a little too ashy, a little too smoky. And I think that's where a lot of people that have had a negative tequila experience or negative beverage experience. People say to me all the time, like someone say, I don't eat Brussels sprouts. Hold up. All right. Why? I hate them. Well, when did you start hating them? When I was a kid, because your mom probably boiled them. Okay, that's probably it. Okay. Now I roast them and put some balsamic glaze and some crumbled bacon on top of it. Everybody becomes a Brussels sprout fan. So what happens with tequila is you went down to Mexico, you drank mezcal because it was cheap and it had a worm and you got freaked out. Okay. We've all been through that experience. So what I try to do is break people into it with a little bit of an identifier saying, please don't categorize this from what you think in the past. So mezcal gives you a nice little smokiness. It's a depth. It's a style of tequila, and it's a facet that's different that we haven't seen. So you get that nice little beginning smokiness, which pairs itself through all different kinds of drinks, Palomas, Manhattans, you name it, and then you get that nice clean finish of that Blanco. And a Blanco without having glycerin in it and without having sugar in it. It's hard to compete with something in the bottle that isn't really supposed to be there. So when you're dealing with just really basic raw facts, quality ingredients, the Espadin and the Weber Blue Agave, when that's all you're doing, when you get to make that drink, how it's going to work. And you're not having to figure out the additives that are inside of it. So it's quality product. But the great thing about it is, oh my goodness, and Manny, this gives you such a new window. It's another facet to making great drinks. And the bartenders and the things I'll tell you something, Brittany, I walk in. This is one of the first events Sammy and I ever did. And I come walking into Southern Glacier in Las Vegas, okay? And it's a big deal. And they're giving Sammy a guitar. I didn't get a guitar. They kept telling me I was getting a guitar. I never got a damn guitar. But if you've ever seen our picture holding the guitar, and I have the shot glasses on the guitar. And I'm like, I didn't get a guitar. I was kind of pissed. So we're standing there posing for the picture. And then I just take the bottle of tequila and just go and pour it and just start pouring it into the glasses. And tequila's going everywhere. And Sammy's freaking out. Well, they took the picture. And that's our promo picture. That became the whole thing because Sammy and I are both a little whacked out, trust me. But the thing that's how we got started. Well, anyhow, they said, okay, well, we have a drink for you, chef, that we want you to try. I said, okay, Manny, you're gonna love this one. I don't know, maybe Manny's seen this recipe. I said, what is it called? They said it's called the Fiery Fieri. Fieri being my last name. I'm like, okay, what's in it? They said mezquila, barbecue sauce. I said, what? No way. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. No. The smokiness of the tequila, of the mezcal, and a little bit of smokiness of the barbecue sauce. And then we dust the rim with a little chili powder and salt. You got to try it. Remember the eye roll? I said, okay. OMG. Still to this day, one of my favorite cocktails. Not a barbecue sauce cocktail. That's some good, but I thought it was goofy. It was also my barbecue sauce. But wow, what a great cocktail. And I'm telling you something. And it's like this one that I'm having, the Santito that I'm having right now, with a little bit of the red bell pepper syrup. It just has so much dimension. It has so much profile. So I'll tell you, it's one of my favorite things. And as soon as somebody says, as soon as I bring it up, especially the bartenders that are really into this, they're saying, wait a second, I get it all in one bottle and I don't have to go do this blend, because it's which mezcal and it's which tequila and so forth. And the great thing about this is little smoky kiss at the beginning, nice clean finish at the end, plays well with others.
I love that. Also, I was so glad that you clarified that it was your barbecue sauce, because I was 100% about to ask you what barbecue sauce it was.
What we need to do is we need to send you some barbecue sauce, because Manny, I send you some. We do a whole line of all different styles of barbecue sauce. But yeah, just a little smokiness. But see, that's the cool thing about it. It's like with the Manhattan or any of these drinks. Take a Bloody Maria and hit it with a little mezquila. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It really is. And that's what I thought Sammy was so brave about when he said, no, let's let other people use it and other people come out with their own variation of mezquila and add this to the industry. So it's working.
Manny, thoughts on the mezquila? Are you loving it? How are you feeling about it?
Before that, I just keep in my mind right now when he mentioned barbecue sauce. It was like, yeah, bartenders are now like try to use a different ingredients to blow the mind of the guest. You know, I never thought about it to do, barbecue, but it sounds amazing. Honestly, it's like now I want to try it. I want to make sure how it's gonna taste. Especially if you say that you put a little. I mean, for me, just think about it. Like use a little chamoy and tajin, or
Yeah.
that is like, oh, it's gonna be. I'm sure it's so good right now. But yeah, no, like it's like blow my mind right. I say when the barbecue, wait, barbecue. That's especially comes with a mezquite from notes from the mezquila. Like, ooh, that sounds good.
But see, that's a great thing, Manny. And that's kind of what I'm no, the other ones. See if you can find the other ones. I'm trying to grab the barbecue sauce and show it to you. I'll send you some, Manny. I'll give you, we got donkey sauce and secret sauce and barbecue sauce. And but I'll tell you what it is. And Manny, you touched on this. When I go into a restaurant, you want to find things that are indigenous to that restaurant. Maybe it's a region. Maybe it's a style of cooking. Maybe it's the background of the chef. But the thing is, this is what's happening in mixology now. And Brittany, you're leading the way on this. And that's what Lush Life is doing and educating people on. No boundaries. No boundaries. Don't play within a confined space, folks. Go for it. I mean, yes, I was narrow-minded and looked at it and said, barbecue sauce in a drink. This is absurd. Now I'm like open to it. I mean, short of somebody telling me that there's anchovy juice in it, I'm probably going to be drinking it. But who knows? I mean, it's, by the way, folks, anchovies are the secret umami bomb that you can put in almost anything. Don't tell anybody you're putting it. I'm not saying a drink. I'm talking about, this is the savory side of me coming out. Oh, thanks, Nat. So here's barbecue sauce. Don't worry about the guy on the
It's also though like kind of the perfect barbecue sauce container for your cocktail program because it's the squeezy instead of having to pour. So
we do that one. We do the honey barbecue sauce, which is again these notes. Honey goes in drinks so incredibly well. It's the reminiscent flavor. We know when you get honey, you know it's there. Carolina, nice little vinegar spice. Try these. I'm telling you, barbecue sauce in Bloody Maria is awesome. And then this is my all-time favorite. This turned into a barbecue sauce show. This is called mop sauce. So this is not quite a barbecue sauce, kind of a basting sauce, but oh my gosh, crazy. So, yeah.
This might be a barbecue sauce show now. So everyone, welcome to
send you some, so then you can start your barbecue. Tell me what
yeah.
But that's what the key is here, and that's what we're looking for from our team in Santo. Is all of this creativity that comes along with it, and not to just pigeonhole that every drink that you do with tequila has to be citrus based. Our tequila is so clean. Everybody wants to get lime and get salt and so forth. Each to their own. I'm not saying, but when I have people sip it, I do it room temperature, right out of the glass, no ice, just taste it. What do you get? What do you smell? It's not hot. It's not acidic. The reason is, let's just take this idea. When we trim the bulb of that succulent, if we leave that much extra of the leaf, will make alcohol. Do not get me wrong. But it's also an acidity and a bitterness to it, okay? And we don't want to fight that. We're not fighting it because we don't add sugar to it. So what we put in there, what we start to cook, what we're going to distill, that is what's in the bottle. So there's no games that can be played with it. So that's the craziness about it, is we really have to go to the root of this. But I'm telling you what, it's Pandora's box, folks. We can open this. We're using grape juice. We're using 100% Weber Blue Agave. Now we can go just about anywhere we want to go. And Manny, the ingredient bases that are out there. I do cocktail shows and have mixologists all the time on my shows. And what they're coming up with and the things that they're bringing out, I'm like, where did that ingredient come from? I mean, it's like this one, we're doing this red bell pepper syrup. Go for it.
I love that. And your message is resonating with the audience because there are just bartenders that we know and love that are like, oh, have you tried this? What if we put these things together? So I appreciate that everyone's taking this permission from Guy Fieri himself and running with it.
Here's what I want to say to people. You don't walk into my restaurant and say, well, you have pasta, you have cheese, and you have sauce. Can you just make me a pasta cheese sausage dish? No, you come in and you read the menu and you're like, wow, this is Guy Fieri's place, Vegas or wherever it might be. I'm going to trust him on trash can nachos. I'm going for it. Well, the same thing I want you to do when you go into these restaurants and you have mixologists like Chef Manny. Go in and try and ask them, what are you guys known for? What's your number one drink? It's part of the experience. Don't stay in the same narrow, space that you're at. Be a little more adventurous, and you're going to see your flavor profiles in cocktails and mixology go to the next level. I know we all have what we love to drink, but you can get that anywhere. Go in there and you see somebody that's offering up some creative stuff, give it a shot. And most likely they're not going to take you down a real dark path. If it's your first time trying something, most whacked out thing they make. But I'll tell you, those are the experiences that you get. And then you really get a flavor, as Manny said, when he goes into that Oaxacan restaurant, you're really getting a flavor for what that restaurant and that chef and that group is about. So I encourage it all the time. I'm telling people, mixologist to me, as a matter of fact, there might be somebody that's trying to develop a show right now that's all about competitive mixology. There just might be. I'm just saying. But we've
got your winner right here already. Manny, you've won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think this is like an appropriate time to go to this question, which is for Manny. So I know that you are particularly passionate about mezcal. Even if I didn't know Manny, I know that because his Instagram handle is Mezcalito Manny. So it kind of gives it away. What are some of the challenges you see like from behind the bar when you're creating cocktails like with tequila and mezcal, which are spirits you really love, that's like challenging, particularly with mezcal, to get guests less afraid of it or more excited about it? I feel like people hear mezcal and they're like, smoky.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges is like from people in the past, I'm just talking about years ago, they didn't never have opportunity to try a good quality mezcal or good quality tequila. That's why people say like, oh, I'm allergic to tequila, oh, I'm allergic to mezcal, because through those experience, because like they have a really bad quality product. That is like, oh, I don't like mezcal. Well, it's like, oh, I don't like tequila. Well, okay, let me, make a split base. At this point, this mezquila is here. It's like, oh, now I have a chance to combine both type of agaves together in one cocktail. It's like, okay, for me, it's like, what profile do you like? What is your profile? You like something sweet, sour, bitter, umami, savory, sweet. So like based on that, to the guests like, oh, like, and something sour. Okay, I can go through, using I would say at this point using mezquila with Naked and Famous cocktail. It's like what could be a really good experience to them. Oh, la última la palabra with mezquila. Oh, you know what? Let's go with the classics and let me show you on this point where they start from the line of the start to the end, to make sure you can go to the right way. And now, like I said, that's for me. I like to ask my guests what they like to drink, because based on that, I make the right cocktail to them. Even if other case, I would say like, I'll make you the cocktail that I want. But this, what you want is what you expecting. No, it's like, it just makes like, let me go through what you like and let me blow your mind with the flavors that you really enjoy it and really love it. Because it's like, for example, I can go with maybe I'm a mezcal cocktail or tequila cocktail. My first guess is gonna be, let me make a Negroni, but Negroni is kinda bitter sweet. That not everyone's love it. So, as a bitter person,
I don't think you're bitter at all. You're maybe one of the most lovely people in the entire world. And there's a lot of people on the planet. So, but I really like that you frame it like that, of like, using kind of these classics as good places to start when you're introducing, mezquila, which is because of the the light, like floral fruitiness and leaning a bit mesquite, but not super smoky, I think is a really good like first step for any like mezcal hesitant guests you might have. But framing it in those classic cocktails, people think like things that people have heard of, they're familiar with, those things, like an old fashioned's not scary, right? Like we've heard of that. I think that's so smart. And I also really like that both of you have touched on the idea of mezquila, like these two things that are combined when they get to you, but from different perspectives. Guy, you were saying that like you don't have to worry about which mezcal am I going to blend with which tequila, or like what goes together. And Manny, you talked about it from an opposite perspective of bottle touches. It's already done for you. You don't need to have, like, if you have what would be a split base drink on your menu, you don't need to have two bottles. You have the one, it's with the mezquila. You're getting great product that's additive free, and all that guesswork is taken out of it, and everything's all condensed. So I think those are all super valid points for folks who are working behind the bar every day.
And here's the thing. We want to be able to count on stuff. Okay. There's nothing worse than inconsistency. Okay, I'll give you an example for salt. Okay, Manny's probably got to blow me away on this with some booze reference, but I'll use it on salt. So I have a particular type of salt that I use. I use Diamond Crystal. Okay, the red box kosher salt. Okay, it's used in koshering food. It's not kosher salt. That's what people misunderstand. Anyhow, so I use that salt. That is my only salt I use. Now I'll finish with Malden and smoky Malden and so forth. I have a finishing salt group. But when I cook, I only use that because not all salt is the same. There's different sodium levels in salt, okay, different mineralities. But that salt for me is my go-to. All right. So my parents lived next door, and this is years ago, and my parents would come over and have dinner 2 or 3 times a week. And we're sitting there having dinner, and my dad looks at me and says, "Damn, this is salty." I'm like, "Yeah, it is salty." Okay. Next day, we come over, they have dinner again. And it's like, "What's going on? This is really salty." He goes, "Is it my medication or something?" And I'm like, "No, Dad, it's salty. I can taste it too. Damn, it's salty." Third day, comes over. I said to my wife, I go, "Babe, what is going on? I'm not heavy-handed with salt. I said, "What's going on?" She goes, we ran out of the salt you have. So I was out in the garage and I saw there's a pallet of some other salt. And that's what I put in the jar. And I'm like, wow, that big of a difference. Well, the same thing is going on in the world of mixology. That if you can grab the Santo Mezquila and you know what the balance of the smoke is to the balance of the tequila, and you know how it's going to interface with your drink, you're playing on safe foundation. But if you start getting into things and this is too smoky, that you can get yourself off real fast. So yeah, I also agree in bottle touches. You know what? Let us do the work for you. Let us get you a good foundation of where you're going to start, and then you can build from there. But the key is in cooking and in mixology is consistency. The guest wants the consistency of the drink. Okay, Manny makes it for you. You come in tomorrow, I make it for you. Well, if we're all using the same ingredients, but if there's a different mezcal that gets used to a different tequila, there's some tequilas that are coming out of the bottle. It's a pre-made cocktail already. It's got so much shit in it that, pardon my French. But it's got, Sammy has, my buddy, so Sammy Hagar has the greatest story. He goes to this restaurant. He orders up a Santo. They didn't have any. And he says, okay, well, give me what your, next best. And they pour it, and the bartender comes back and he says, just give it to me on the rocks. And Sammy takes a drink and he calls the bartender back over and he goes, "Hey, I just asked for some Blanco on the rocks. I didn't ask for a mixed drink." Because there was so much sugar and so much additive inside of it that it was, and again, like I said, no shame in the game. There have been some tequilas that have worked as the ambassadors of getting people into believing that they like tequila. The great thing is now people start becoming more of aficionados and like, wait a second, I want more truth. Same thing with food. People start to realize processed foods. Okay, well, then you get to organics. Then you get to farm raised, then you get to all these different facets. And now what the great thing is the education, especially from folks like you, which I really appreciate that you have so many people tuning in, that we're educating people on what the truth is. And as you know, there's so many people out there that will tell you about the tequila lies that are going on. So the truth is the key.
I see what you did there.
Excited. Like I tell people, don't drink the 110 for the buzz to get, well, it's 110 proof shot. No. If you really love agave flavor, again, the Weber Blue Agave was picked for some particular reason way before you and I would ever know what it was. But the reality of it is you really want to taste some great tequila, not hot, not burning, and you want to get that agave flavor, this 110. That's why bartenders are blowing this up. I mean, this is my baby. This is my pet project. Everybody thought it was 110 to be, oh, it's 110 proof. No, I'm not making Everclear, folks. What I'm making is really dynamite, super flavorful terroir. You getting that flavor of that blue agave. So
I heard that was your baby, and as soon as we got a couple of questions from the audience, we're gonna talk about with mezquila. Then Manny's gonna make us a mezquila cocktail, and then we're gonna go directly into the 110. So no one worry, we're gonna get into it because I know that it's something that Guy is very excited about, and I know all y'all are bartenders. You love a high proof baby for your cocktail program, so we're gonna talk about it. So this question is for both of you. So Manny, if you want to go first, I know you talked about this a little bit, but we'll circle back and then we'll go to Guy. If you had to pick three, you don't necessarily have to explain them, but if you had to pick three flavors that you would pair with mezquila, what would your three favorites be?
Bitter, umami, and sour. That were my three flavors for me.
was that me next? No, this just froze.
She goes froze. Yeah, I know.
I think this whole thing just froze up. Annie, can you see me? I can see you.
Yes, I can see you, Guy.
I think you just froze up there.
It's because there's a severe thunderstorm warning at my house, but I'm tethered and I'm back now.
Okay.
So Manny, three flavors you would pair with mezquila. If a tornado comes, I'm just gonna run with no explanation. So just in case anyone's wondering where I went.
Bitter, umami, and sour.
Okay. And Guy, what would be your three if you had to pick three flavors that you would pair with mezquila?
Smoky, spicy, and I would say bitter. Not to rip off Manny's, but I think the spicy. I love spicy drinks. We're talking about making how it plays in. Again, people, you say spicy, and people start losing themselves. But I think one of the greatest drinks that's out there is a mezquila caliente margarita. You get the smoky. Smoky plays into the jalapeno, or plays into, if you used a little bit of chipotle. It just has that. It's building all those layers. And then you say bitter. People say bitter. No. It's part of it. It's not all of it. You got to trust it. It's not just, one screaming note. It's not one, it's not the loudest voice in the room, but it's the complement to it. And it drags you all over, drags your palate all over the place. And that's what makes it so exciting. Again, we don't get to drink. People aren't drinking as much. Okay. They're drinking better. They're drinking more sophisticated. They're drinking with more education. They're drinking with more appreciation. There's drinking just to get hammered, but there's drinking to really complement it. I tell my team in my restaurants all the time, a guest comes in to get a steak dinner. What are they going to enjoy with that more? A really dynamite Cabernet Sauvignon or a glass of milk? I don't want you to sell them that glass of wine or that mezquila cocktail to get the money out of their pocket. I want you to sell it to them to accentuate the experience. I want them to have that well-rounded experience. So that's the idea.
I love that. Well, in those answers, you all answered like three more of the questions. Guy, what's your favorite agave-based beverage? I think you said you like the caliente margarita with some mezquila. So we've been talking about mezquila and cocktails, and I know, Manny, you came prepared to whip one up. You want to show us one?
Sure. Well, let's start with a little bit of the orange liqueur. And also,
in orange liqueur, Manny, I think that you have your favorite, but here's the deal. And this is the number one thing I say to people. Yes, it's a half an ounce. Okay. Use great product, please. Don't go use the cheapest triple sec you can find.
Oh, no.
Give yourself the credit. You're using premium tequila. You're using great tequila that we worked our ass off to make for you. And the creativity of this, don't cut the corners. It's like not putting on your seatbelt. You did everything else right. Just put the seatbelt. So it's the quality ingredients right off the bat, right, Manny?
Yeah, that's true. And I'm actually, for me, especially, I really like the dry curacao, the Pierre Franc. That's a really unique, that's my favorite orange liqueur.
Got it.
That's something I really love it from that, because that's a really unique, not too sweet, but actually you get the notes from the oranges, the oil, or the little bit like bitterness, I guess, a little bit from the oranges, from the
true essence.
peels. Yeah, the true essence, yes.
And that's where people, that's every time I watch people, like, we don't see it enough. I mean, we're seeing it more and more, is zesting. The zest, all the flavor of the orange, the lemon, and the lime, or the blood orange, is all in that peel. Okay, not necessarily the acidity. Don't worry so much about the acidity. Get those oils, those essential oils inside of that. Just game changer.
That's true. And actually, it's like using one of the tangerines juice that is mostly grew up here in Watsonville. Fresh lime juice. And like I said, you try the...
and here's the thing, Manny. I don't want to... No shame in the game. But if we're going to do this, let's use real lime juice, real orange juice. Anytime it gets pasteurized, we're killing it. We're changing the whole flavor profile. And again, that's consistency. So one day we're going to use lime juice that's in the quart, container that is pasteurized, and it says fresh lime juice, or we're going to actually squeeze it. Even if we squeeze it prior to our shift, the oxidation takes place and changes the flavor profile. You just can't. I saw a bunch of chefs, mixologists that just came up on the screen and said nothing beats quality ingredients. Absolutely.
Fresh products always make a huge difference. And it's something like I get in my philosophy of like, I'm being so grateful being working with a lot of amazing bartenders who teach me like always use a fresh product. Don't do shortcuts. And this is something that one great bartender told me, that chefs cook with fire, bartenders cook with ice. I know always that keeps on my mind. And that's one bartender I learned a lot from him. He always told me once, and I was like, always keep it in my mind. Always quality. Doesn't matter the quantity, it's quality, because the quality talks more.
Ice is the biggest mistake. I'm telling you, if there's one thing that I get into it with when we open up, is the quality of the ice. Not just the quality. I mean, the cube style is so critical, not just to be fancy. The cube style, the dilution factor. Okay, all of these things take precedent. But clean glassware is another one of my big hangups. I mean, you're going to go and drink this great product. We know about it in wine glasses, okay, because we can see it. But even in these cocktail glasses, any residual inside of that just blows the game for us. So no, it really is, Manny. You got that exactly right. This ice program is super critical.
Yeah, and actually, like I said, like at this point, I steal some ice from work just to have a really good ice and for the cocktail. But yeah, no, and then I'm using a little bit of the homemade bell pepper syrup. That honestly,
by the way, this is the drink that Manny's making. I've been drinking, just so you know. Manny, this is lights out.
It is
delicious.
We got Guy his ingredients a little early so that he could enjoy one throughout the stream, and we got him some backups too because we knew he wasn't going to be able to have just one.
And of course, the mezquila. 1.5. No.
Sorry for whoever else had Guy on their schedule today, because we sent him with plenty of ingredients for Brave Little Saint, so you may not get him.
Definitely helping from yesterday.
And then dirty dump on the glass. Sorry. oof, just to enjoy more of the flavor from the ice.
Yeah.
Cheers, my friend. Delicious.
You all will be able to find the recipe for our brave little saint here in the recipe guide PDF, companion PDF that will be coming out later this month. So stay tuned for that. But you can go ahead and pick up your mezquila because I can guarantee you that's in the recipe. And then you already have that part ready to go. So now that y'all are enjoying mezquila cocktails, let's talk a little bit about the 110. So Guy, tell us, I know you talked about it a little bit before, but what do you love about this product? Because I was prepped that this is like your favorite thing in the whole wide world. So what do you love about the 110 Blanco?
Well, I'm always interested in doing things a little bit off camber. All right. I don't follow very well. I like to pave my own, Natalie's over, my had been kind of shaking her head like, yeah, we know. And I didn't see, it wasn't about the exciting factor, 110, super high power octane. It wasn't that. It's so good, the tequila we make. Let's take it to the next level and really show its flavor potency and do something, because when you can make it that refined, that you're putting that much flavor, it really just tells you what we're making it. It's giving it to you at the highest quality. So, there was that old thing, I don't know if it ever happened in your house, but people would say like, oh, that wine's terrible. Save it. We'll cook with it. No. Don't put anything that you're going to reduce down or refine down. Then its impurities or its failures are going to come out and even be that much louder. So if you're a company that makes additive-free tequila and all you have in there is the Weber Blue Agave, and you're picking ripe fruit that's like 8 years old. Okay, you can pick it 6 years old. It'll have the same look. I mean, it only grows from 6 years old to 8 years old that much. But the sugars develop, the flavors develop. That's the reason the Weber Blue Agave was chosen. So now we're going to say, all right, we're going to show you how good we are. We're going to show you in the potency, in the level of flavor that this is and that we've developed. And the great thing is it's not hot, it's not bitter, it's not sour. And if it was, people could go and change it with a little sugar and a little kiss. We don't. What you see is what you get. Clear bottle. I mean, this is and that's the thing that we're so proud about is that, you could take an inferior product that's not as ripe or hasn't had the time and you kiss it with a little glycerin and silk it out, get that nice creaminess to it. No, that's right here, which is what you get. So that's what it was. And then also because people said we were crazy. No, nobody makes 10 proof tequila. Crazy. The great thing is the bartender started rallying behind me on this and started saying, wait a second, this is awesome. We need more of this in our life. So we still haven't taken over to the new bottle design, but this is kind of like the cult following. And I love when I go and do these signings. We were just out on the road doing a bunch of tequila in New Jersey, and fans are coming up with this going, oh, this is incredible. Why didn't we hear about this before? And I'm like, well, you're kind of on the inside. You're on the inside track now. So.
And Guy, what is your favorite way to enjoy the 110?
You know what? You're just going to laugh at me.
Is it with barbecue sauce again?
No, believe it or not. I was just out at Stagecoach. We do that big, the greatest country festival in the world. And the ongoing joke was, is Guy Fieri ever in a picture that he doesn't have a bottle of Santo on it? I love tequila. I love my tequila. I love the history of the tequila. I'm a rocks guy. I think when it's this good, I do like a little dilution. I like it to have a little ice on it, a big cube. I don't want it to go, don't give me small little scrawny, cubes where as soon as I hit that tequila on it, it's washed out. A big fat cube just to bring that temperature down, but give it a little water to it. But that's how I like it, because when you're really getting that true flavor, if you love the flavor of agave, again, that's, different preferences, different strokes, different folks. I love our añejo. I think it's really mature. I think it's got great flavor. I smoke a lot of cigar. I have a cigar company also called Knuckle Sandwich. So I smoke cigars. The añejo, which is almost a 2-year-old añejo, that with a great cigar, fantastic. If I'm mixing drinks, I'll usually go to the repo. But when it goes to the 110, I'm on ice, baby.
I love that. And Manny, I feel like you're going to have a fun perspective here. what are some of just a couple of your favorite ways to incorporate high proof spirits into your cocktail program?
At this point, is for me is like one of the healthy cocktails that we can have at the bar, and it is like, it usually is whiskey sour, but this one is going to be mezquila sour or Santo sour. If you see the ingredients, like using like egg whites, protein, lemon juice, vitamin C, honey, you can add that. So for me, it's like one of the most healthy cocktails that you can have. I mean, honestly, if someone asks me overproof, sure, let me make you a really nice sour, fresh egg whites. Lime, actually, like for me, I like to split base lime and lemon juice with honey, honey syrup, 1-1. But even that is like such amazing healthy cocktail that you don't get like the kick of the overproof product. But even say for me, it's like that's one of my main cocktails. It's like a Santo sour.
I'm not even done with this one, Manny, and you're already leading me down. A long Monday, buddy.
Everyone heard it here first. If you go visit Manny, you'll not have scurvy because he's serving you sours.
What is the? Oh, what's a really nice? I would call them the Santo Mojito. That would be a really good one with a fresh mint or yerba buena. If you can get the yerba buena or peppermint, fresh one, lime juice, simple syrup, pebble ice, and a really bubbly club soda. That was so good, especially spring, summer are here, so that would be a good.
And Manny, you touched on something there that I think people got to remember. Don't go half-assed on your soda, on your sparkling soda. There's just different levels. I just did a really big program with the folks at Waterloo, and the great thing about their product is the effervescence inside of it really is fantastic. I mean, it really carries through in the drink versus getting it in there and it dying on you. The bubbles blow out and then you just got a little kiss. No, I want that effervescence to last all the way through. But that's one of those things where not all the time it comes out of the gun. Is it going to, if the gun isn't clean, blah, 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 blah. So when the basis of the drink is going to be something as simple as soda water, maybe you're going to your mini cans, maybe you're going to cracking these cans and giving it, if that's one of the key components. Lime's a key component. You're going to juice it. So that's what I love to see, is that people are really starting to give the thoughtfulness and integrity to their drinks. And Manny's hitting each one of these points, from the ice to the glass to the soda water, you name it. You're dangerous, Manny. I don't want to hang out with you.
He is dangerous.
He's dangerously fun. Your guy, try this one. Yeah, thanks, Manny.
Dangerously fun, that one is. So I am going to ask you this question, which is on my list, and then I'm going to ask you, Guy, I'm going to ask you a specific question before we start talking about philanthropic and community endeavors. So my question for both of you, and Manny, feel free to go first. This is a straight answer. Favorite agave beverage and food pairing. So one food item, one agave beverage.
This is hard. Because it depends on the mood that I can feel it. It's like if it's sunny day, if I have some ceviche and aguachiles, of course, I will go with margaritas. If my mom is cooking a really nice mole rojo from Oaxaca, I go with a Negroni, or either
You're killing me, Manny. I'm starving right now.
I go with
and you're talking about chilaquiles.
Like I said, like chilaquiles verdes with a really nice fresh onions and a little bit of. I mean, I'm just like it's like you can. I mean, the quesadillas too. With a little juice, a consomme, a Bloody Maria. That would be a really good one too. Yes, I mean,
I'm going to.
You can never go. You think how I'm the same thing, but like I said, like you cannot go wrong with like you can go mole, chilaquiles, aguachiles. Is that thing is like you want it in pair with the cocktail. Like I said, like mole, Negroni, Oaxacan old fashioned, or Santo old fashioned, or Manhattan. because you want the fat combined with the cocktail. If it's like a chilaquiles, of course, the aguachiles, you want something savory. It's like, oh, a really citrusy.
You're killing
Or even
people.
tamales too. Or tamales.
Everyone is
tamales
so
in Oaxaca.
hungry. Everyone's so hungry now. I do love that you brought this back to what you were saying kind of in the beginning when, talking about your creative process and really wanting to create moments, right? From where the food and the cocktail meet to create this moment. But I do have to cut you off because the comments are just like, everyone is starving now. Guy is just withering away in front of our very eyes. So Guy, if you won't pass out at the thought of this, what is your favorite agave beverage and food pairing? I promise there are only like 5 questions after this, and you can go eat.
No, whatever Manny just said, because that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Perfect.
Is birria. You think about roasting goat. I love goat. I love, and so my mouth is watering as I'm thinking about it. And I'm thinking of the smokiness coming off of the grill and then mixing it, doing something like a Manhattan or doing something with, this nice smoke and this nice citrus to cleanse the palate. That's one of the things that, the refreshing factor, one, the drinkability, but it's that contrast, being able to step in and step out. So yeah. Okay. Everything Manny said.
Perfect.
But I drink tequila with every meal. Breakfast is no. I drink it. It goes across. I mean, like for tomato, for instance. We're Italian. Fieri's Italian. We do a lot of Italian dishes. The great thing about it is build the drink that adds the support and contrast to it. When you have the fattiness or the creaminess or the spiciness, where does that drink come into play for you? So yeah, all of the things that Manny said. Now my mouth is, because I got to start thinking for dinner. I got to start planning my dinner, and I can already tell you it's a mess now. Thanks.
I normally just co-sign whatever Manny said too, so I get it. Okay, so now that everyone is starving, welcome, everyone's starving. We're gonna shift gears just a little bit and talk about philanthropy, community, that kind of stuff. So I've asked you two a million questions about your favorite cocktails, your favorite ways to enjoy different products from the Santo line. Now we're going to spend a little time that this topic is very near and dear to our hearts at Portland Cocktail Week, and it's really focusing on community. Portland Cocktail Week was launched in 2010 as an in-person event designed to democratize bar education by making all of the classes free of charge to working bartenders. Obviously, we all experienced the panorama in 2020, the year of our Lord. And when that happened, we couldn't continue, obviously, planning Portland Cocktail Week as an in-person event. So Portland Cocktail Week Distance Learning was born in an effort to put some money in educators' pockets, raise funds for nonprofits that were focused on providing aid to hospitality workers, and like kind of fill that gap in education and social connection that we were all missing because we were at home. We're so happy that we get to keep doing all of this with you. And so these kind of programs are how we got so lucky as to meet one Manny Hernandez. And Manny, through tons of different connections, has also done a lot of work with No Us Without You, who's curating all of our content this month. So Manny, tell us a little bit about your experience working with Damien and Otan and why that kind of work, like why contributing to, putting your efforts and energies directly back into things that affect the hospitality industry is so important to you.
Community is one of the biggest pillars for me. And that's something I really enjoy working with Otan and Damien, is because they care of the community. And the community is the base of the hospitality, and is the base of the, any kind of city. If you have a strong community, you have, a really strong relationships are all around. And that's something that, like, for me, is like, I really appreciate it from them. It's like community has to be one of the things, and thanks to that, you inspire more people to break the shelf or to break the bubble to do something better. And it's something like for me is like always keep in my heart, even my soul is like what we want is inspire the new generations. We inspire them to become a better, do something for better for us, And you told them like, hey, you know what? No dreams is you can accomplish whatever you want to in life. You just pursue your dreams, If someone told you cannot do it, like make that on the side and like, hey, let me show you how to do it. Look at me now, like where we going to, and that's for me. For me, is like something I love from Auton is always try to have people close, bring them to the new classes, or bring to the, hey, we have this event, come over, let me show you something different.
I love that. And Guy, I have one final question for you. I know you guys are shocked, but Guy has a pretty stacked schedule. So he's going to have to run out of here while I do the final housekeeping where I tell you our Instagram handle again. But this is really important, and I want to make sure that we're covering this. So, Guy, I know a lot of us are familiar with the Guy Fieri Restaurant Employee Relief Fund, where you raised over $21 million to help hospitality folks get through the pandemic closures. But I also know that in 2011, you started the Guy Fieri Foundation. Can you tell us a little bit about the foundation and how it supports culinary education and why that's something that's so important to you?
Well, so it was, believe it or not, it was almost 26 million we raised, and we gave out 45,000 grants to restaurant workers, $500 grants. It was just a drop in the bucket for the 1.7 million that were out of work. But what it was my way and our team's way and the National Restaurant Association's way of showing the industry that we are industry vets. We are people from the business. Just as Manny said, it's community. And I couldn't get a check to everybody's pocket, but I wanted everybody to know that Guy Fieri cares about them and that I have the power to make some things move. So I made right here in my kitchen, I made videos one Sunday evening to 43 different CFOs and CEOs of companies, from Pepsi to Coke to Uber Eats to Amazon, you name it, and said, here we go. This is what I need from you. Our industry is going to get hit really bad, and I need to make sure our industry knows how much we appreciate them. And you've been making money off our business for a long time. This is your time to stand up and help out. And the next morning, Pepsi called me and said, we're going to give you $1 million. And it just started rolling from there. Tito Beverage, good buddy of mine, the Vodka King, gave us, $250,000. And I mean, it still gives me goosebumps today that we were able to pull out. My dad said, you're crazy. He goes, how much you going for? I said, I'm going for 100 million. I'd get up every morning at 4 a.m. to do the news feeds in New York to get on there to push for this money. And again, it wasn't about the money. It was about the industry knowing that we love one another and we support one another and we believe in one another. And that's what it was. So that's what I was raised by. Hippie parents in Northern California. Community is key. And that if you're in the restaurant business, it's usually because you love people. You like being around people and you like making people feel good. People don't go out to eat and drink just because it's the food and the bed. They go out for the entertainment. They go out for the experience. They go out for the energy. I say on Triple D, if I go to a place that's really awesome, I'll say, the property values just went up around here because you're here. So the foundation is about first responders, active military, veterans, and then we carve off into all different other things. We do hospitality scholarships through UNLV, where I went to school and my son Hunter went, through the California Restaurant Association. And we just do a variety of pieces. We had one of our chef buddies, Justin Sutherland, that had a tragic accident a couple of summers ago and didn't have any health insurance. And the chefs all came together here at my house, and we put on an event for 25 people. We raised $356,000 to help him with his medical bills. We had the fires in Hawaii. The foundation came together again. I called 40 of my favorite chefs. We were ironically shooting Tournament of Champions, and we held an event for listen to this number, Brittany. 150 people attended. Tickets were $2,500 to $5,000 a piece. 40 chefs cooked. 18 courses, great music. Okay. Portugal the Man came down and played. Raffle items. We raised $1.7 million in one night. And we gave that money to the restaurant workers in Hawaii because not only had they lost their businesses where they work, they lost their homes. So we came over there. We gave a bunch of money to the restaurant workers and a bunch of money to the Salvation Army, who's an amazing organization. But we were able to give them these gift cards that they could just go get the money right then. No red tape. We just handed them out. So listen, the greatest thing I get in my career, I love TV. I love the restaurant business. But the opportunity to do philanthropy, to take what comes towards me, the light that I get on me, and take that and shine that light on others. Awareness, money, opportunity. A lot of people don't even know how to volunteer and get involved. We try to create that platform for them that inside of what we're doing in the Guy Fieri Foundation, people can get involved. And that's the neat thing, is to be able to pull together 40 chefs and raise that kind of money in one night. So that's my ongoing process. Everybody says, what are you going to do when you retire? I said, well, probably never retire, but more philanthropy. We're raising money. You know, unfortunately, my father just passed away, and everybody said, we want to send flowers. We want to make a donation. I said, you know what? There's this little program down in Mexico where we have our house, and these folks could use some help. So divert all your time and energy. This is what my dad would want, to this, this organization, Caliente, down in La Manzanilla. So listen, we all have something we can do. Maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's interest, maybe it's passing along the message. But community is all of us, and everybody needs to participate. Even when you don't think you have something to offer, you do. But you guys have been great. I appreciate the opportunity. You can tell I love my tequila, and I love my company and everybody in it. I love the industry. I appreciate all the support and love and respect from the bartending world, the hospitality world. Manny, you're a gangster. Love to meet you and love to mix drinks with you. I got some stuff coming up. Don't be surprised if you get a call from us. And Brittany, keep this up. Lush Life this is a great program. Education, information, unity brings us together. A lot of things to talk about, but the invite has been really appreciated, and I've had a blast. And I'm hungry. Thanks, Manny.
Well, we are so lucky to have had you on. Thank you so much for carving the time out of your day to talk about Santo, to talk about the foundation, to just be here with us, talk about barbecue sauce. We loved every minute of it. We're going to let you get some lunch while I do the outro housekeeping. Manny, you'll stick around with me. But thank you again. And we can't wait to have you back on the channel. So anytime you're ready, you just let us know.
Well, thank you, everybody. Appreciate all the great comments we saw on there, and let's keep it going and stick together. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Guy.
Thank you, Guy.
All right. Well, this has just been maybe the best Monday ever that I can remember. So once again, thank you, Guy. Thank you, Manny. Thank you, Santo. What a lovely, lovely way to start the week. Everybody, you saw the delicious cocktails that Manny and Guy were enjoying. So make sure you keep an eye out for the Mexican Spirits companion PDF coming out later this month. It's filled with delicious cocktails and stories behind the brands that inspired them. You can get your copy by signing up for our newsletter at lushlifeproductions.com/newsletter. I know that's probably pretty shocking. Don't forget to head over to lushlifeproductions.com/Santo by May the 27th and complete the submission form. 50 lucky people are going to receive their very own Santo Mezquila, and we'd love for one of them to be you. On top of that, one of the 50 selected to receive the Santo Mezquila gift pack will also walk away with a $250 gift card. You'll get more details about that for my 50 winners. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link, lushlifeproductions.com/Santo by May the 27th. Get your form in so we can send you some mezquila. And if you enjoyed this class, please hit the like or love button and show some love in the comments. If you want to see more Portland Cocktail Week classes like this one, they probably won't be exactly the same because I cannot promise Guy Fieri is going to be on all of the rest of them. Make sure that you follow Portland Cocktail Week on Facebook and on YouTube. Or on YouTube, whatever platform is better for you. We're into it. We're also at PDXCW and at Lush Life Productions on Instagram. And you can always find out what's coming up next there. You can find out what's going on at Santo, at Santo Spirit. So make sure you give them a follow, check them out. And Manny, of course, is at Mezcalito Manny. If you're not already following Manny, go over there and do that. While you're following Santo, go follow Manny Both great accounts. Keep you up to date on all things delicious cocktails. And I'm at Bleach RTR, and I don't think I made a banner for myself, but that's okay. You can still be my friend on Instagram. I'd love to be your friend. And with that, if you can figure out how to spell my Instagram handle, because I forgot to make myself a banner, you're welcome to DM me and we'll keep the conversation going. Tune in on Monday. We're going to have another really fun class, which is going to be the second one in our Mexican Spirits May series. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. But in the meantime, have a fantastic rest of your day and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.